We're on the precipice of another 3 episodes of Andor dropping later tonight, and well, season 2, I think you guys have probably heard the conversation surrounding it, but honestly, it's actually kind of interesting, right? Because on one hand, you probably heard about it, but then on the other, that's about the only thing that you've heard about it. The one controversial scene, even though you have just about, 2.5 hours worth of content, and you're about to get another heaping helping of artistry that is just so foreign to modern day Star Wars. I don't even know where to begin, because if you guys checked out the previous video on the day, I just had to go off on a little bit of a tangent because my past weekend was full of, unfortunately, a lack of Lord of the Rings, which I'm going to go ahead and rectify these upcoming weekends. I'll be starting off with The Hobbit, which is, of course, just a great way to do it, because boy, are those movies bad. There's a lot of good performances, and it really does make you appreciate Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings as opposed to his work and what he did with those first 3 post-Lord of the Rings films. Jesus Christ, man. Everybody looking forward to the hunt for Gollum? I know I'm not. But going back to something, okay, and talking about what I did over the past weekend, just binging through all of EFAP's coverage of the Star Wars projects that have come out post-2020. So thanks to the advent on YouTube of ×2 and ×2.5 speed. Since, what was it? I think, last Wednesday or something like that, I watched through Mandalorian Season 2, but over the weekend, it was Obi-Wan, Mando 3, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and of course, The Acolyte, so I could go ahead and get all of my references straight on this one. And then, of course, their breakdown of Andor Season 1, which, honestly, the way that Season 2 is kicking off, like the first 3 episodes of Andor itself, okay, of Season 1, was probably the weakest little self-contained block, mostly because it was setting up things. So in the context of the full season, it is important. It's just, it might not grab you the way that it would on a second watch. And so that's probably why a lot of people didn't want to give the series a chance when it first came out. Oh, there's too many bricks and screws, and oh, why do I care about a spin-off character from a spin-off show that we already know the fate of? You can't tell, and this is, oh my god, just the conversation around this series is so fucking brain dead. But why would I care about somebody in Star Wars? Okay, how can you tell a compelling story about somebody that you already know the fate of in George Lucas's Star Wars? Gee, I wonder if that has ever been done before. But holy shit, man, just the conversation around Andor Season 2 and that one fateful scene, even though nobody else really wanted to touch on the whole Trump allegory. Oh, they said undocumented people, and that's obviously a shot at Trump supporters. Oh, they hate white people because white people were bad. And it's like, bro, okay, if you're that brain rotted, I don't want to hear your opinion. Let's keep it a buck. At this point in time, I don't care. I understand where you're coming from. Lucasfilm has had a specific agenda to demonize and drive off their fans. I understand. But this is a different creative. Even the way that Lucasfilm is promoting this season is very different from everything else that they do. So go ahead and check your snowflake status if you want to engage with the big boys. But something else that has also been popping up, okay, because of said scene that we talked about last week, now people are rolling out the defense, unironically, that Star Wars is for kids. That doesn't belong in there. And I mean, by the end of this, when we take a look at what is real Star Wars, what is George Lucas's vision right now, it's so funny how the stuff that is being touted as being true Star Wars, the real vision, the true storytelling, is far worse than anything that Andor has done so far. It's so bizarre, man. It's really just that series that so many people that claim rationality and claim to see through all the key jangles just goes and throws all of their credibility out the window for, because, nah, man, Andor is boring because it doesn't have the stuff that I recognize, but some of that Dave Filoni stuff, because it's alright to shit on Mandalorian Season 3. Oh, we didn't like that because there were too many key jangles. No, you didn't like it because it didn't jangle the keys that you like. You seem to think that Mandalorian Season 2 is fine, even though the writing is of similar quality, okay? It's tough for me to say whether or not, Season 2 or Season 3 is worse, having just rewatched it. And fuck, you could throw Ahsoka in there as well. Like, it all makes sense, okay? Like, the reason that anybody remembers Ahsoka The reason that she's getting a second season, okay, because it's Dave Filoni's OC first and foremost. But no. Episode 5 of Ahsoka. Oh my god, he Vadered. It's red. This is the Clone Wars. Oh my god. It's everything I remember. There's Rex and Zeb. Oh my god. But comparing Mandalorian season 2 to season 3, which when we take a look at some ratings here in a moment, it just goes to show you that sure, season 2 was ultra popular, but you know why it was? Because you got the first appearance of Ahsoka in live action, because you got dead-eyed, stupidly acting Luke Skywalker. It might be fun to shit on the Book of Boba Fett right now, but it is, look at the numbers, wildly overperforming, because I remember Boba Fett. He's the man with the Mandalorian armor. I remember Boba Fett. But no, Andor doesn't have any lightsabers. Oh, it's slow. It's not mature. It's just boring. Just the brain-dense takes that I've seen on this so far. Like, I've been despondent about a bunch of stuff recently. And if I was to just simply to go and give in to the dark side when it comes to this stuff, yeah, it would be very easy. But then I just reset and remember, oh, right. You're not actually talking about the stuff that I care about. You're just simply being silly. Because what's the writing quality like on Andor? Can we talk about the plots? No, you just want to focus on that one actual logical scene that's there of an Empire officer exerting his force on a woman that was tortured in the previous season and is now rediscovering her humanity. I understand that that's a very lofty concept for most Star Wars fans because they like the original trilogy because of the cool ships and the laser sticks, as opposed to the character development and the redemption of Darth Vader. You know, the guy with the breathing and the force choke. He's actually pretty cool if you take a look down to the second and third layers. Like, there's more to him than just an intimidating voice and presence. I know, right? But it's interesting, right? When Andor Season 2 came out, the way that it was being presented, okay? Because as we've seen in previous Star Wars shows, the way that it gets marketed, oh, look at that. Oh, we got a Star Wars show with a female lead in Ahsoka. Oh, female actresses in Star Wars have such a hard time because of the racist, sexist fans, talking about The Acolyte when it was first coming out. I remember all this stuff. That wasn't even that long ago. Hell, it was less than a year ago. I can't believe that's the case, but it is. Oh, and Andor Season 2 comes around. It's like the highest rated TV show or movie. Not talking about the actual ratings, but we're talking about the review sites that give it, outstanding praise. It was one of those shows that when it first came out, it's boring, I don't want to watch it. And it's like, you don't owe you anybody, or I'm sorry, none of these sites, none of these shows are owed your viewership. So the people that either went back or saw it through, eventually had a good opinion about it. And that's the way that season 2 kicked off. And, the critics liked it because they could go ahead and they could read in their anti-Trump allegories, or maybe there are some honest ones that would go ahead and see it for the story that it was telling, which was very compelling. And I really hope that season 2 does in fact stick the landing, because I would kind of like to watch season 1. I would kind of like to watch season 2 knowing that this self-contained story isn't going to be a massive waste of my time. Because we know when it's all said and done, like, this is going to be it, man. Okay? It's just going to be back to the slop. You won't have to worry about, boring wedding sequences. You'll be able to get all of your light sticks that you want. You'll be able to get the fun quips. You'll be able to get all of the stuff that's kid-friendly, because the bad guy who doesn't have the cowboy hat won't be writing your Star Wars shows anymore, as Tony Gilroy credits Andor's existence to The Mandalorian, no Baby Yoda, no Andor, which is 1,000% true, because if it wasn't for the success of Season 1 of The Mandalorian, do you think Disney would have cracked open the sludge pipe like they did during the streaming boom when everybody was locked up? Don't quite think so. The existence of Andor is something of a miracle. The hugely acclaimed Star Wars series is bold, uncompromising television, unflinching exploration of the true cost of revolution, all wrapped up into a prequel to the original Star Wars, and delivered by one of the best writers in the game, Tony Gilroy, as the show prepares to deliver its second and final season, leading right into the events of Rogue One, which fans first saw nearly a decade ago. Yeah, because TFA celebrates its 10-year anniversary Oh God, that's got to be coming up like right quick. Cause I remember. Do you remember? I remember where I was when I first got my secondhand review of The Force Awakens. I was working at a job that I hate, a very common refrain. And one of my coworkers is like, "Yeah, I went and seen it. It was all right." And it was like his words, even without knowing everything about the discourse online, is like, "Yeah, it's pretty much like original Star Wars. It's just kind of updated." And oh yeah, Han Solo dies. It's like, oh okay, cool. Is it worth your time? Yeah, not really. I liked it, but no, I'm not going to watch it again. I remember that. I remember that conversation like it was yesterday. And then, yeah, a year later, Rogue One came out. And that still, to this day, is regarded as the best, outside from those TLJ freaks, but we don't take them seriously. Not because, oh, I'm sorry, Gilroy is clear. The show, like Andor, will never happen again. Not because we're so great, he tells Empire in a major new interview alongside Cassian Andor himself, Diego Luna, but because no one's ever going to start a show on the scale again and shoot it practically and have the resources and the protection to do something like this. The notion of protection is a key point for Gilroy, noting how involved in getting Andor made is instrumental to arriving unscathed with ultimate freedom, its own high-stakes trench run. Yes, we're protected all the way down the line, says Gilroy. Kathleen Kennedy protected us. Lucasfilm protected us. Bob Iger protected us. The audience protected us. The Mandalorian protected us. We had all these people out there backing our play, rather. Yes, even Din Djarin had his part to play. Not just the protector of Grogu. Oh my god, Empire, seriously, stop being so punny with your shit. The success of Mandalorian gave us the platform to jump off. Their success is what fuels the whole thing. I mean, no Baby Yoda, no Andor, seriously. Don't think that we don't know that while Mandor and Andor are poles apart tonally. Yeah, this project exists in symbiosis, not in opposition, as the dark side, the Star Wars fandom, might choose to believe. Online, people try to drive a wedge all the time between us and Favreau and Filoni, says Gilroy. It's horrible what people say. It's terrible. And the truth is, we don't have the show without them. They gave us the muscle to go. Yeah, no, exactly. Because like it or not, without the success of the slop, you don't get one that ends up seeping through the cracks. And well, that's unfortunately where it stays, because for better or for worse, nobody's watching it. No, literally nobody's watching it. Okay, and to be completely honest, wasn't exactly all that shocking to find this out, because we have the streaming ratings from Luminate here from the past week when Andor debuted, and well, as you can see, what's not on that list? Well, that would be Andor, but also The Last of Us as well, which is hilarious, right? Like, they'll go ahead and they'll tout the success of the first episode. Oh, it's up, 6% on season 1's premiere episode, but no ratings for episode 2, nothing for episode 3. It's interesting. It's very interesting. And then, yeah, you have no markers that are on there, and well, we can go ahead and simply connect the dots from the first 3 episodes that are out, because you have episode 1, which clocks in at, 51 minutes? Yeah, 51 minutes that you had right there. And then you had episode 2 clock in at, 40? So I did a little bit of pre-screening on this. Oh my god, why do you have to be like that? 44 minutes you got right there. And then episode 3, which ends up with, 53 minutes. So, okay, you have the best part of 2.5 hours there. So you have 148 minutes all said and done, which is 2 hours, 20 minutes, which is essentially a movie. And you run that up against, the number 10 spot, and you realize that, fewer than 2 million people tuned in and watched the 3 episodes that are there. That's not good. That's really not good at all. And you just also take a look at the other services that are represented right there, and nothing under the Disney banner even comes close. None of it's on there. And for a series that cost, well, we've heard the different reports, and I talked about it before prior to last week's Andor video. The only one that I've done on Andor on the channel was when we first heard the news that this thing costs $650 million for the 2 seasons. I don't care how good the writing is. I don't care how good the sets look, how you end up using the money, which even from people who have been critical but somewhat honest, maybe their own personal biases and morals end up getting in the way. And they say that, Andor is the best looking Disney Star Wars show that they have ever seen, including the movies. Like, this thing is a phenomenally shot series. They just don't think that maybe if they would have called SA something a little bit different, maybe if they would have had a space word for it, which is so fucking stupid. I don't even know where to begin. Oh yes, the officer tried to flummox me. Oh no, like that's really bad. Which that would have spawned off another conversation, but I digress. I think I beat that into the ground. It's so silly the way that everybody's talking about this. But yeah, as Gilroy points out, no Mandalorian, no Baby Yoda, no Andor. I mean, you just simply take a look at the shit that the people are eating up, and it makes me sick to my fucking stomach because, yeah, what is the most watched season of Disney Plus content that's out there? Mandalorian season 3 in the past year. In the past year, Mandalorian season 3 is the most watched chunk of content, and right behind it is the much derided Book of Boba Fett. Can you believe that? Because it had all the stuff that you remember, okay? Because that's what people want in their Star Wars. Dave Filoni, oh my God, he says he faced a lot of challenge. Bro, you're in charge, okay? To enact his vision for Ahsoka season 2. I don't want your vision. After just rewatching season 1 of Ahsoka, which, yeah, outside of the Vader 20 minutes of episode 5, it's the most boring shit you are likely to ever see. A lot of long pauses, a lot of establishing shots, just a bunch of bloat. For the idiots that are out there that say that Andor is slow and can't really point to anything outside of there's not enough TIE fighters and there's not enough lightsabers, Ahsoka is legitimately boring because there is single words exchanged for long drawn out dialogue sequences that if they were truncated, those 8 episodes of season 1 could very easily be reduced to 3 episodes. I'm not even shitting you. All of the Thrawn nonsense, that could have been 1 episode. Having Sabine get stabbed in the gut with a lightsaber by the overly enthusiastic Pomeranian, that could have been bundled up with going to that stupid factory where they're repurposing Superstar Destroyer hyperdrives to build the Eye of Sion. Ugh, Dave Filoni's such a fucking hack. Bundle those together. And then, yeah, the build-up of getting to and moving to the other galaxy, that could be your 3rd episode. I'm not even joking. There is just so little content and such a minuscule amount of substance in those 8 episodes. It's amazing, man. But no. Dave Filoni revealed that he faced a lot of challenges in order to enact his vision for the 2nd season of Ahsoka, which I would imagine probably on the 4th, we're very likely to we're going to see that Mandalorian and Grogu movie trailer. Oh boy, that's going to be so exciting. But then also, like, we don't have a release date for Ahsoka season 2. All we know is that's next. Is it going to be coming out before Mando and Grogu? I don't know, man. But there's also nothing on tap for Star Wars throughout the end of this year after Andor season 2. At the time of the film's announcement, yes, Lucasfilm revealed that it would focus on the New Republic, and close out the interconnected series of The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and the Disney Plus series. Yeah, talking about Filoni's big stupid movie that is going to build off of Mando and Grogu. So I just can't wait for that. It's going to be so fantastic. Filoni shared, I work in very big arcs and timelines. I've always have a lot of things planned, but I'm always able to move things on a big board. And so, Ahsoka season 2 was the plan that I had, obviously, off of season 1 if I got to continue, and I had an idea where that went. Then a lot of things happened that were out of my control, and it made a lot of changes to actually accomplishing that. But I was able to accomplish it, and I'm happy where it went. Oh, but it's so great, and it's going to be so fucking wonderful, okay? Because we've heard of all of the key jangles that are going to be in there. Obi-Wan Kenobi's going to come back in a flashback. That's going to be great. Hayden Christensen is front and center for all the marketing. Padme could also be back. We also know that Admiral Akbar is going to be taking on Grad Admiral Thrawn. Fuck. Because that's what Star Wars is. You can't tell individualized stories. You can't tell fun, unique, low-stakes stories because people don't think that's Star Wars. They just want to remember things because you look at the box office over the past weekend and then the 20th anniversary for Revenge of the Sith. That little show, that little movie that is definitely Star Wars. That's George's vision, after all, where there's fucking child murder, where there's assault of a pregnant woman, there is body horror, all right, and an attempted genocide. All of that stuff, though, that pales in comparison and is far more actually Star Wars than an attempted rape. Fucking makes me sick. Re-releasing a film that is 20 years old. It makes $25 million over the past weekend. You know what that tells people? We don't want anything new. We just want to see the stuff that we remember. And you wonder why Star Wars, you wonder why the entertainment industry is so fucking dead. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.